Now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL Podcast.
It's PUCL! PUCL! It's PUCL! PUCL! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PUCL! PUCL.
And welcome to the 65th episode of the PoGo Podcast. Too many episodes. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my wonderful, as always, co-host. We've got the one and only Lord Jushiro.
Some say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone.
And then, of course, we've got the wonderful and knowledgeable, as always, R.Sigma.
I am here. Hi.
Yeah. Welcome to the PUCL Podcast. PUCL, of course, stands for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007. We talk everything here, Pokemon, from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between. We used to not talk about the trading card game, and then I got the bug, and it's real bad, guys. It's real bad. It's real bad. My desk is covered in Pokemon cards. I need to clean this up, but like it's absolutely horrible because like I started playing again. And which everybody who's been listening to the show will know. I can't stop, man. I've been playing a lot this week, and I played in like a few tournaments, and I didn't realize, I forgot how much like people are sheep, right? Because we haven't had a lot of like in-person tournaments for a while.
Yeah.
And so the number of people that are just like copying the top deck list from the most recent regional in Peoria is so high.
Yeah. You can always set your clock to that.
It's so frustrating, and I had forgotten because like I'm just seeing everybody playing the same deck over and over and over again. And the thing is, like we're in one of those metas again. This feels very similar, almost similar to like the Steam Siege meta, where like we had like 3 decks that were just really good, but they were all super effective against each other in some kind of weird triangle. And so you had to guess which one was going to be the more popular one before you went to a tournament. Because I remember it was like Volcanion, Metagross, and something else. I forget what it was, but yeah, it was a time. I think it was some ice type because it was like it would do water.
Glaceon was.
I forget what it. That sounds right.
Glaceon was like a decent card, so it might have been Glaceon.
Yeah, I just remember back then it was just crazy, and so we're kind of in the same situation where like Lost Box is what won, which is actually, well, it used to be a cheap deck, but now it's not. I think the problem is it uses 4 scoop up nets, and scoop up nets don't ever go down in price. They will whenever rotation happens. And then, so scoop up nets I think those are almost like $4 or $5 a piece now.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then there's a couple,
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. You run like 3 Sableyes, and those Sableyes are going for like $3 a piece now. It does run, unfortunately, the Radiant Charizard. So that's another like $25 for you right up there. So that deck actually adds up pretty, for a single prize deck, that comes out to be a pretty penny.
I blame the Charizard.
I blame the scoop up nets. And battle VIP passes have jumped too.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I laugh because when we did our set review, usually those kinds of cards are just kind of trash. So it's like, yeah, it exists. We don't need to talk about it. And then it's like, oh no, it's a format staple. It's like, what? How did this happen?
Battle VIP passes. Let me look right now. Cause I was looking and I was like, wow, they're insane. Because they weren't cheap when right now it looks like if I wanted to buy a Battle VIP pass, I'm looking at like $3 for a Battle VIP pass.
Ooh.
That's 1. And you usually play 4.
Yeah, so, for a trainer card, that's raw.
That's a lot, yeah. And I mean, I think thankfully I would assume, so they've got those Mew V battle decks coming out in November.
Hope that has it.
I would assume it has 4 in there. I would assume that it's got a full playset, and I would just, honestly, that's a big buy for me. I'm going to probably actually pre-order that one too. I'm going to pre-order 2 of those because I've been wanting to build Mew anyway in person just to have, because like right now it's just going to be a really good tournament staple.
Yeah. Counter decks are usually the ones that go the long way.
Yeah. None of the cards that are essential to Mew rotate until Mew rotates. So I think it'll be there for a very long time, even with like they had that hard counter come out.
The Drapion.
That's what I've been doing this week. I've been having a lot of fun with that. I want to play some Unite soon. I haven't played since they updated.
I've played the one that I've been playing actually more surprisingly is Master CX.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I got back to that. Yeah, I got a new phone, so I'm like,
I'm so sorry.
let me test games, and I got back to Masters. So I've been Ash Ketchum was finally released not too long ago.
Yeah, I do about
Ash
that.
was a really good unit too.
Yeah, he's really good too. Yeah, managed to get my hands on him. He's a lot of fun. Red with Pikachu as well. I have a whole Pikachu team, which is hilarious. I call it Pikamob. And it's a pretty fun game. For those of you who don't mind gacha games, it's actually a pretty fun one.
Man, I mind gacha games, mostly for what they do to my wallet.
Well, mine's, I don't know how, when I created my account, apparently I selected that I was a minor. I don't know how that happened. And the game doesn't let me buy anything, so I'm good.
Blessing in disguise.
Yeah, a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, oh man. What about you, Sigma? You been up to anything fun?
Mostly shiny hunting and getting ribbons in BDSP. This week I got a shiny Tornadus, so that's cool.
Man, the chat's been on fire about like doing ribbon runs, or not the chat, but the Discord. Like they've been talking about this all over the place. It makes me want to do one, but I don't know that I want to do that.
I don't want to go back to Gen 3 and start one.
It's not even like the Gen 3 part. It's like the Coliseum part specifically. Like that's the part that I don't like.
Yeah, it's rough. Also, like, it's really hard to get shinies in those games if you're not, like, using an emulator and checking your frames. It's like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I will just get the ribbons I can get in the games that I have.
Yes.
Fine.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm thinking about it, but I don't know that I want to play Coliseum. I love Coliseum, and it's like
Coliseum is great, but it's slow. It's so slow to go through.
Okay. I'm just going to keep preaching because like I have many of the same opinions as like Tamashi Hiroka, who used to be a big YouTuber. She still makes videos, like she pretends to at least, or does on somewhat occasions, and she knows that her upload schedule is pretty bad. But I follow her on Twitter, and she has so many of the same opinions I do. I feel very validated following her on Twitter because her opinions are just like, she's like, Gen 3 just exists so that the Pokemon company could make money. And I'm like, yes, 1000%.
Yes.
Like if we're going to yell about like, Gen 8 because of like the way they're handling Pokemon and how you have to buy certain games to have certain Pokemon, let's talk about Gen 3 for like a half second.
Yeah. I cannot take anyone serious that says that Gen 6, 7, or 8, well, we can't say nothing about 8 yet. It has not been released, but anyone who says anything bad about, 6 and 7, I'm sorry, 8 is Gala. Galar. I mean,
we're done with 8.
You got what I mean. The 3, it's just after 3, it's just, there's nothing to complain about. 3 was
three
far
was
the
worst.
worst.
Was a mess.
3 is a mess.
Absolute mess.
And it's honestly, if you look historically, it's a product of its time.
Mm-hmm.
Because it turns out that Nintendo was very, 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 very against game rentals back in like the early 2000s, because that was really big. You'd go to like your Hollywood Video or your Blockbuster, and you could like go rent a video game. And so that they were trying to prevent people from being able to go rent a video game and get the Pokemon they were missing, and instead go buy the video game to get the Pokemon they were missing. Right. And so that's why all of those games are such a slog, because they didn't want you to be able to finish. Like, you need to put in the 25, 26 playtime hours to be able to finish purifying all of the Pokemon in Coliseum so you can trade them, because they want you to, they don't want you to be able to like go rent the game for a week and be good.
Like Stadium 2 was a lot, or Coliseum 2 was a lot better with purification, but
XD that was 2005 though, so we're getting near the death of Blockbuster, right? So
Blockbuster was dying. It's fine.
Yeah, we're getting near the end of Blockbuster, but
I mean, they still have to have the Pokemon Snap boxes there.
Yeah. Well, it still have same thing with like the way they spread the Pokemon out, like with Leaf Green and Fire Red. Like you can't trade with Ruby and Sapphire until you get the national decks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah.
Because they don't want you to go rent Leaf Green, Fire Red after you own Ruby and Sapphire to go get the Pokemon you're missing. I'm telling you, it's a big mess, man. Gen 3 is like, if you want to talk about anti-consumer, like it's Gen 3.
Right.
The game design was very much built upon preventing rentals, because Nintendo did prevent rentals in Japan. But they were not successful in the US, and that just really made them mad. Fun facts. Yeah. Just fun facts with Thatch. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead on that note of Nintendo anti-consumerism and talk more about Nintendo and their products, specifically Pokemon, and talk about how they're trying to sell us on this newest game, Scarlet and Violet, and whatever else they've got going on today. So we've got hopefully a very good show for you today. On that note, though, we should definitely go ahead and just kick it on over to the news. Let's cue that epic music.
Live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
And welcome to the news. We've got a few things to talk about in the news that aren't the trailer that dropped this week. That trailer was very good, and we're going to talk more about it later in the episode.
That's the topic.
That's our topic today, because I think it's just a lot of things to gush over, and I'm very excited to discuss it. But we have some other things to plow through. First of all, on the weekend of November 11th, Splatoon 3 is going to be having another Splatfest. Why are we talking about this on the Pokemon podcast, you may ask?
Mm-hmm.
We're all Nintendo fans, so I also own Splatoon 3.
Yes, I do, and have yet
but
to
it's on
play
the list. I'll have it by the time this happens. It's fine.
Yeah, I've played it a little bit, but like it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, the people who are playing it are just like the hardcore Splatoon 2 people, so like I'm trying to catch up still.
Yeah,
and
it's just there's so many games coming out, I barely have time.
Yeah, so they're going to be running a Splatfest, though, and the Splatfest now in Splatoon 3, this is like the only change I think they've really made to the game, is that the Splatfests are now, instead of being 2 teams, it's like they're actually 3 teams.
Yeah.
So instead of choosing like what they probably would have done in the past between Scarlet and Violet, you are choosing your starter this week, and you can actually get exclusive shirts in-game for that team. Additionally, I believe they're going to sell them as physical merch.
Yeah, in Japan, I believe it's a lot easier. Here, it's like only at New York's.
Yeah, you have to go to Nintendo NY, which is the only Nintendo store apparently that they're willing to make. I am still befuddled by the fact that we don't have more things like the Pokemon Centers and the Nintendo Store NY.
Me too.
Okay, because
I don't know how they don't have a Nintendo store in Seattle.
Me either.
I have no idea how they don't have things like this, honestly, because I don't know. You look at like malls, which are still dying, by the way, but that's a different story. You look at things like that, and in Nintendo NY is like the perfect equivalent of one GameStop, which I think is dying, but if you did it right, it would probably be fine.
Right. The thing that they have to take into consideration and one of the things that are making brick and mortar stores still be alive is the fact that you can't just go there to buy something. You have to have an experience. And I believe Pokemon Center are just recipe made for have an experience, have good paid employees. Mm-hmm.
And you could expand that to Nintendo as well, I think.
Yeah. I mean, their Nintendo store in New York has like a lot of like older things like console libraries and amiibo collections that you can look at.
Right. Have the employees have them dressed as, Pokemon Center, or if it's a Nintendo store, characters from Nintendo, have it be an experience when you go in there, and it will never be empty.
Well, honestly, I think GameStop's kind of lost its way a little bit too.
Well, it's just a store. You just go there to buy a store, and you don't get nothing other than that.
Like they used to host like video game tournaments, and they just don't do that anymore. They don't want to be a community hub anymore. They just want to be a store.
At the same time, though, I think they realized that most of their store spaces just were not large enough to support that kind of thing.
I think that's true, especially now with all of their dorkly crap that not dorkly, but what do they buy? ThinkGeek. With all that stuff that they just shoved in there. It's just a mess in those stores, and they don't have anything that I ever want, except for like the random Pokemon product that might come out. I can know that GameStop will have it. They will try to sell me on more and try to lie to me that they think this is going to be hard to find later on.
Yeah, the Beanie Baby effect.
They do that to me. They do that to me all the time. And like, one day I just want to be like, do you know who I am? You know what I mean?
To be fair, like TCG product in the fall time have so many exclusives that I don't know what has.
No. I mean, right now they're dropping a lot of product, but the one that got me was like when the Pokemon Go set dropped back in July. I like walked in there and just like, you need to get one of these like shiny Eevee bundles. I already purchased one like a week before launch because Target accidentally put them out early or something. And they're just like, they're going to be super hard to find. And like, that was one of the things I was still finding, like when the Pokemon Go set was winding down. I was just like, I'm still finding those things everywhere because it's $60 and the only thing you get is like a playmat and a pin. Like that's the only difference you get.
Let's instead get into some Unite talk. And big things, ever since the 1 year anniversary, they've been nonstop just releasing new Pokemon.
No, ever since the game came out, they've been nonstop releasing new Pokemon. Like this isn't.
I mean, they have a schedule now, and it's a rough one.
It's really, there's a lot of Pokemon coming out all the time. Like, you know what's going to upset me is when we're going to have more playable Pokemon as Pokemon in Pokemon Unite than there are in Sword and Shield or something like that.
I think they realized that their release schedule was easily like grinded by free-to-play players, so now they're actually releasing like 3 a month.
Yes.
So people actually have to pay if they want to keep them all.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Yep.
To be fair, I really like that. I mean, I'm okay with the pay-to-play model because, to some extent, because, I don't know, too many people are just like grabbing the new thing, and then you never got to use it, even if you were paying for it, right? Like,
back to the news though, and all the hype that is coming up. Clefable, and Clefairy, the next Pokemon that to be released. They are coming on October 13. Great Halloween, day there. Very excited for Clefable. She was released, right after, she's going to be released right after the last Pokemon, which was Cider and Scizor. A lot of fun with them, of course. And they also announced Sableye coming to the game, which I know is a fan favorite. So there's just lots of things going on in Unite, guys. Go enjoy it. It's, like we said, it's all free to play. So, if you want to spend money, you can, but you don't have to, and it's just a lot of fun.
All right. We'll kick it off, Sigma.
All right. Time for our Go segment. This coming weekend is Litwick Community Day, and that's on Saturday from 2 to 5. Litwick is a great shiny, and if you want some, get them. Also, this weekend, from the 14th to the 17th, there is an event called the Festival of Lights. It introduces Morlul, and there's a higher chance of getting shiny Chinchou. And I don't have a shiny Chinchou, so that's cool. You get double catching XP and double candy for catching things too during the event.
Yay.
Always important. And of course, in November 5th, we have a rerun of Dratini for Day on Pokemon Go.
Hey, I'm into that.
Yeah, there are data mines that point that Soroa finally going to be added to the game for Halloween, which would leave Valcorona and Keldeo as the last Pokemon from Unova not in the game.
They don't have much time if we're getting a Hoenn Day.
He's not in the game yet?
I'm just saying, that's where Kecleon's coming from, probably. They'll probably put it in there. And you know what? They'll give us purple Kecleon.
That would be great.
Because they can.
Everyone
There's no rules. There's no rules. Purple Kecleon. Purple Kecleon. I actually bought a plush when I went to NAIC of Purple Kecleon.
Purple Kecleon.
Yeah, they had one in the Pokemon Center. It was like the Pokemon. It was like the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon stuff.
Ooh.
So they had the plush from the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX because I just assume they haven't sold those all out yet.
Right.
And so I assume that's why it was there. So I bought one though.
I wouldn't be shocked if they used NIIC because they have a distribution center for Pokemon Center there in Columbus.
All right. So our next part of the podcast, as always, is our Puckle's Pokey prediction to end this. This week we did get the Mario movie trailer where Mario looks like P. Pasquale from Chuck E. Cheese.
And sounds just like Chris Pratt.
Yes. And as we look at the top-selling Switch games to see that the difference between Swish is in 5th and Super Mario Odyssey is in 6th, with it's only a 500,000 gap. One of those games, with only one of those games about to see a replacement launch, will Odyssey pass Swish to mark the end of Pokemon being in the Switch's top 5 for the remainder of the Switch's lifespan.
Basically, if Odyssey,
I think Pokemon's already cheating. I think Pokemon's cheating anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, with its dual release.
Well, the jump between like 6th and 7th is a big one, but Super Mario. I think Super Mario will probably pass it. I mean, there's a good chance Odyssey will, especially with Scarlet and Violet coming out. But they are trying to make the Pokemon titles more evergreen, right?
I see a lot of outside like emotion for this game that I can't really say if it's more or less than previous. I just know that it's present. And if it's present, if people that are casually still paying attention or are paying attention, that's good signs for the game. So let's see what happens.
I think the game is going to sell well. I think it's going to sell well. Like, there's no doubt in my mind it's going to sell well. It's a Pokemon game, so like 10 million units minimum is honestly.
It wouldn't be a shock for 15 million.
Everyone wants Lechonk, so
all that matters is it beats Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which I think it will.
Thirst traps shouldn't be allowed on the list.
Well, this is a good place to stop. We're gonna wrap it up here, and we're gonna kick it on over to Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're gonna quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Hello and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz your co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Professor Snag with the rules. The co-hosts are working together as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that you, the listeners, have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The hosts can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct without using the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
And welcome to Puckle's Poke Quiz, part of the show where we quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge. Before we begin, I just want to let everybody know, if you like this, we do have a new show that's Patreon exclusive. It comes out once a month on, I'm going to say, second Thursday of the month right now, because that's when it's coming out this month. Where you can, if you join at the $5 tier on our Patreon, you can get access to Puckle's new Game Corner Plus Patreon edition. I just decided to make the name even longer. It's going to be great. I'm hosting it currently, and we just recorded the last one. It does come out this Thursday. So if you're interested, go over to patreon.com/puclpodcast. Get some more trivia like this type stuff, just in different formats. So without further ado, let's jump on in to our questions. Our first question this week is going to be from Dex Lord.
Ooh.
In Pokemon Unite, how many Pokemon use the attack stat as opposed to special attack?
Oh,
could you tell us how many Pokemon are in the game?
I'm going to give you guys a plus or minus 3 on this question.
Right, and this is counting which, like, how many...
Yeah, can we get a total number on Pokemon
That's a great
Unite
question.
Pokemon?
Right, at least.
Pokemon... How many Pokemon... in Pokemon
because that
Unite.
Number changes.
I'm googling this. This is
every
real
other
life.
week.
This is it looks like it is currently sitting at 45 in terms of like character selection.
I feel like physical is a lot higher than special.
Yes, it is. I was gonna say I think we'll go better if we count which ones are
because like Ninetales is one of the specials, but there are
which ones aren't. Right, Ninetales, Gardevoir, Mr. Mime, we got Mew, we got
Glaceon, I assume?
Blissey, no, actually.
Well,
I think
Sylveon
Glaceon
would be,
is
right? Sylveon special?
But Glaceon can crit. Sylveon for sure. Yeah, the thing about one of the things that you know when it's a offensive and a special offensive is that special offensives can't crit. So all the mages of the game, as they unofficial call them, they don't crit. They just do high damage with their abilities. And as far as I can remember, I think Charizard is physical, for example. Dragonite, I believe it's special.
So it's probably something around 35 to 38, maybe, or physical.
Yes, that sounds maybe 30 to 15.
Okay.
I would say.
Do you want to up it like 1 or 2 then for physical?
30 physical. Yeah, 32 like and 13. Yeah, I can go with 32.
It sounds
13.
like a good
It sounds
mix,
like I can come up with this.
It's more physical than special.
But it sounds like a good number, yeah. There's a lot more physicals, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're locking in 32 for the number of ones that use attack. That is unfortunately outside of the error bars. The answer is 24.
That's a lot closer to middle.
It's a lot less. Okay.
So it is more. It is more, right? But it is definitely more middle. Yeah. Yeah, it's only Cinderace, Charizard, Snorlax, Mamoswine, Garchomp, Lucario, Crustle, Aegis/Trevenant, Serena, Zeraora, Greedent, Buzzwole, Duraludon, Machamp, Dodrio, Scizor, Dragonite, Azumarill, Tyranitar, Absol, Talonflame, and Decidueye.
There you go.
So you were close on the idea though. Like I'm going to give you guys credit. You got farther than I would have gotten on that question. All right, so there is a question from Foxy concerning Furfrou.
Go, Foxy.
What is currently the only way to register the Furfrou forms in Pokemon Go, Home?
Which makes it awful.
Yeah.
Is that your
or
final
you could
answer?
trade them you could trade them through the
that is
trade
correct.
Too, yeah.
No,
they come from Pokemon Go.
That is correct. Yes, they have to come from Pokemon Go. Since Furfrou cannot be caught in any of the Generation 8 games, the only mainline way of getting into the home is to send it through Bank. Bank will revert the form to normal upon depositing, meaning that all Furfrou sent this way will be changed to normal form. If you catch a Furfrou in Pokemon Go, however, the form change the form there, it'll stay there. So, good for you. All right, that's 1 for 2. Your next question is your Pokedex entry question. And this one is going to come to you from Dennis, the Mimikyu Maniac. We haven't heard from him in a while.
Ooh, Dennis.
Its Ultra Sun Dex entry reads, its temperament is rough, and it loves to fight, but as soon as its pincers break off, it turns cowardly. It stays timid until they grow back. Who's that Pokemon?
My first thought is Pinsir. But
Yeah, I'm gonna say Pinsir too.
You want to lock Pinsir in for that first answer?
Yeah.
Pinsir is unfortunately incorrect. We're going to move on to your second entry. Your second entry is from Ultra Moon, and it reads, its pincers often fall off. Unlike with Crabrawler or Clauncher, the meat in its claws is utterly nasty and stinking.
Oh, this is the lobster.
so is it Crawdon or is it
Crawdon?
like Krabby?
No, I think it's
Or
Crawdon.
well, would be what's its name? The smaller form, right?
I don't remember what's the
Corfish.
the smaller name. Corfish. Something tells me that the dark
Is what makes it stinky.
typing on Crawdon is what makes it nasty. Yeah.
Is that what you're locking in, Crawdont?
Yes.
Crawdont is correct.
Woo!
You guys are 3 for 3. Yeah, apparently the meat in its claws is nasty and stinking.
That sounds
what are
like
these
an Ultra
entries?
Sun and Moon entry.
Yeah, Ultra Sun and Moon. Oh my gosh, those entries were just terrible.
They existed to make YouTube top 10 videos about like that. That's my belief.
Yeah.
Seriously though.
Yep.
All right, so we are at your multiple answer question. You guys can get up to 3 points here. There are in this case 8 answers, and they will. I think Sigma will probably carry the team here. But
well, more than likely. I mean,
for every 2 answers you give me, I'll give you a point. So you only need 6 of the 8. If you get all 8, you can give yourself a nice pat on the back. This one's going to be from Farmer Fox, and Farmer Fox would like to know, what are the 8 items other than berries that have secondary effects when used with Fling?
So it would be the flinching items. So that would be the King's Rock. Okay.
You do have to lock them in and get 3
King's
strikes.
Rock.
I always forget to tell you this.
Yeah.
Are you locking that in?
The other flinching
is
item
correct.
that
That is
involves
1.
Fly Score. Okay.
It's called the Razor Fang. I'll give it to you. That
Toxic
is
Orb
also
and
correct.
Burn Orb, I believe, both do it.
Toxic Orb
well, the one
and
that you put
Flame
on to
Orb,
burn
not
you.
Burn Orb, but yes, it does the same thing. Yes, those are 2 more. So you're at 4, so that's 2 points.
I
If
want
you
to
give me
say
2 more, you can get...
what about
or the light ball that
Iron Ball.
Pikachu holds can cause paralysis when you throw it.
locking that in, that is correct. That it does that, do that. The light bulb will cause paralysis.
What about
That's
the
just a high
iron
attack, I
ball?
believe.
Whatever you call the metal ball.
Now,
Okay.
do we count guaranteed crits as secondary effects?
I'm gonna say no, based on this list I'm handed.
King's
There
Rock?
are 3 more. You
Yeah,
already
we
said
got
King's Rock.
Rock and the
Oh,
Fang.
okay, sorry. What else?
I wonder if Adrenaline Orb might boost speed. It's a weird one, but We'll lock it in. Okay.
That is incorrect. Adrenaline Orb does nothing. Oh, wait. Changing stats does do something, but it's not exactly remove or not raising or lowering.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
It might like do a recovery to stats.
So, so like throwing herbs, like a white herb.
That is correct. Okay. White herb, that gives you the full 3 points. That would restore your lowered stats if you threw it. Mental herb throwing that as well does exactly what mental herb is supposed to do.
But, you know.
Yes, that nobody will ever utilize. The other one that you can that you missed was poison barb. Okay. That'll also create poison. That one poisons, toxic orb badly poisons, right? Which is the difference. All right. So you guys are that was 3. You're 5 for 4. You can go for 6 here with your base stat question. And this one today is going to come to you from Zay Paladin. Which fully evolved poison type Pokemon has the lowest base HP?
Repeat the question. Which Pokemon?
Which fully evolved poison type Pokemon has the lowest base HP?
Let's grab a hint.
This is a dual type, and one of those types is water.
You know what? No, it's probably Toxapex. Toxapex has no HP. Like, it's all defenses.
I can go with that.
Toxapex is correct. It's got a base HP of 50, which is actually the same as Marini. I would usually give like a top 5, and because Liger would put it together. It is technically what's tied for next at 60 is Arbok, Gengar, Dustox, Roserade, and Scolipede, and tied after that is at 65 are Beedrill, both Weezings, Johtoian, Quillfish.
Wow,
and
Quillfish is doing better than I thought.
At 65.
Wow.
Yeah. But you guys got that correct. That gives you guys 6 points today in your race to 40. It doesn't. Since the ladder is so new, the good news is you guys aren't far behind the lead.
Yay!
All right, let me. I gotta sort the range. There we go. Okay, so in first place we've got Mark with 8 points. Tied for second place in a 4-way tie, we've got Linian, Claude, R.Sigma, and Jushiro with 6. Everybody else has yet to get on the board. All right, we'll see who wins eventually in our race to 60. But if you want more PokeQuiz, tune in next week to Puckle's PokeQuiz. And of course, in the meantime, you can catch us over on Patreon with Game Corner, where we do more fun Pokemon trivia type stuff. We will catch you all on the flip-flop when we kick it on over to the topic. If you liked that, make sure you check out the Patreon at patreon.com/PucklePodcast, where this Thursday we're going to release a new episode of Puckle's New Game Corner Plus Patreon edition, where some of your favorite co-hosts face off against each other in a couple different games that test their trivia knowledge. So please check it out if you get the chance. We'll catch you on the flip-flop. And welcome to our topic. Our topic today is going to be the most recent Scarlet and Violet trailer that dropped this week, which was an interesting trailer for a lot of reasons. One, I really liked that it was 14 minutes, even though it didn't show too much new stuff. It did show a lot of things, and it was really cool to see some... It showed off a lot of what we'd already known, but it also showed off a few new things. But a lot of gameplay, which I really like to see the gameplay.
Plus a few secrets there, like Pokemon that showed up on the radars and stuff like that people took notice on.
We obviously got, like we were alluding to earlier in the show, we got like confirmation of some Pokemon that had been missing previously, like Litleo. That's like, I'm sitting here with my little checkbox, Sigma. You don't know.
Nice.
Every time I watch a trailer, I just have a checkbox that I'm just like, yeah, let's go to town. Let's just have a little checkbox of, the missing 60. I need those boys back.
It's gonna be real sad when you get to 59 and regular Samurot's still missing.
Right? I think regular Samurott will be there.
We're not seeing starters in the trailers unless they get...
I know in the trailers we're not going to see the starters. So, like...
If Paldean form starters actually do happen, I don't think it'll happen either.
I don't think that'll happen either. I don't think it'll happen. I think that was a very Hisuian, like, gimmick. I don't know how to explain this, but, like, Hisuian starters, like the starter evolutions, are the most inconsequential thing to me ever.
They had a chance to make them better. I don't think that happened.
I'm just kind of bummed because, like, I was really excited to go through with regular Typhlosion. in Hisui, and I was just like, oh, this is it? Okay, I guess it's fine. I have like no feelings. Like I don't hate them. I just don't know why they exist. You know what I mean? I know it means a lot to other people, but for me, it's so inconsequential. They could have given me the actual just evolutions and not given me the Hisuian forms, and I'd been like, yeah, this is fine, and I would have no problems. Hisuian Samurott and Hisuian Typhlosion were just like, yeah, but what if we took some fan art?
Then like a different Pokemon. It's like, oh, look at the new cool Typhlosion skin.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Hisuian Decidueye is a different looking Pokemon. I do agree with that. But okay, but let's talk about Scarlet and Violet and not Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is also a fantastic game. But I wanted to go over some of the new things, and then we could just talk about how we feel about the gameplay we saw. But we got a lot of quality of life improvement things.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite is that we have a TM machine.
Yeah, stations. I have no idea.
Pokestop? I don't know.
Is it a Pokemon Center? Is that what they call them? I want to say Pokemon Center because I hate the idea that they're going to call it a Pokestop.
Oh, no.
And it's 100% what they're going to call it because they got the Pokestop spinner on the top of it. It's going to make my heart cry a little bit.
The press release says every Pokemon Center. So.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Because if they called it a Pokestop, that's going to hurt me as much as when in the anime on Netflix where Go tries to catch Pokemon the first time, you just hear a random great in the background after he catches something. And I was just like, I don't like this. I don't like this. His name's already Go. Like the heavy-handedness is here. I understand.
Yes, I was so excited.
But this TM thing, one, you get to craft TMs.
Yes.
Which is nice. I do like this because it does give you a reason to like go around and beat up Pokemon and stuff like that, to collect items.
You do need that in an open world game. Like you need a reason to go explore. And that's nice.
Yeah. And you have to grind a little bit, which I understand. Some people were complaining about that, like grinding's not difficulty. I'm like, yes, but you're playing an open world game. Like you can't have both.
I mean, they have auto battle now too. Like it's fine.
You can't have both.
Yeah, you can't play Pokemon and then complain about grinding. It's
Yeah, well, you can't ask for like an open world game and then be like, oh, but I have to collect items, and it's just like, yeah, you do.
Right, exactly. It's like playing Breath of the Wild, and then like, oh, but I have to go find these little creatures. I don't get it. It's like, no, it's part of the game, dude.
No, it's like you have to go pick flowers. That's what they're complaining about.
Yeah, and this is even better than that. I feel like it's integrated better into the experience because it's just like, oh, you fought a Pokemon, which is what the game's all about. Here, have some item for doing that. And it's a better way to track it than in Sword and Shield, I think, where Sword and Shield just like counts it. It just counts it, right? On your Pokedex. Like, oh, I've battled 25 Wooloo so far. I think this is better because you're just like, oh, I collected these items. That's kind of cool. And you could do something with it.
I was a little sad when they showed the Pokedex and we didn't get Pokedex missions back from Legends Arceus because I thought that was a good way to keep you caring about the Pokemon.
Okay, so I have mixed feelings about those. Like, I think some of them are really interesting, but some of them are just too much.
Some of them were a bit grindy, but I would have liked a smaller version of that. It would make sense because you're a student, right? So obviously you should be researching them like in that form, and that would make sense. And it was nice to boost like shininess too. It's like, oh, I can control my shiny rate.
I understand. I just didn't like it as much. You know what I mean?
It just gave you a reason to interact with the Pokemon after you caught one for your Pokedex.
I do really like it. I just wish it was a little bit more scaled back. Like, I don't want to use the same attack 40 times in Agile style.
Yeah, that was a bit much. I think capping it at 20 probably would be fine.
I want to be able to do it with one set of PP for the move. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to go heal and then go do it again.
The agile and powerful styles were rough. For how much PP they used.
Please don't bring those back. Just don't bring those back. If we're getting another Legends game, let's not do it again.
It was an interesting concept, just I don't think it was well established.
The battle system was also hot garbage in PLA.
I would understand if you had more battles where it's like multiple Pokemon, but even then it became so formulaic that it really didn't. It was, like you say, inconsequential, whether you use Agile or not sometimes, and it's like, didn't make much sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
TMs, though, that's what we have. You get to collect items. I think it's going to be fun. I really like the idea. And you do get to see what TMs your Pokemon can learn immediately, which ones you can craft immediately. The thing that scared some people was that rest got brought down to 5 PP.
Why would you need more?
Which is where it belongs.
Exactly. Why would you need more?
It used to be 10. Well, because if you like to stall.
I was going to say, you know what the thing that gets the most people probably stopping playing online? Having to play against stall multiple times in a row.
Stall is only fun for the people that play stall.
Yeah, stall.
It's like, I love wasting 20 minutes to lose a game. It's like,
yeah.
I don't care when I lose to hyper offense. I just go to the next match.
I hope it's a signal that maybe timer's gone and we can just battle. Because that would be great. I would love this, please. Thank you.
Very excited.
We will find out. But yeah, that's the TM machine, which is very exciting. Very exciting. Additionally, we found out what the new camp / whatever mechanic is. It's called picnics.
Right.
Which look like a straight rip of Pokemon Camp almost from Sword and Shield, where you set up a picnic table and you can hang out with your Pokemon out in the thing, and then you make sandwiches instead of curry, which I kind of like.
Right. Then
sandwiches feel more culturally neutral to me than like curry and everything else we've had, which I like that as a culturally neutral option as sandwiches. I think that's something we can all get together with. The thing that I saw somebody going around online that I really just want to like slap and be like, no, stop it. They're like, you could have 7 Pokemon in your camp. And I'm like, yeah, but one of them's Miraidon or Koraidon. And that looks to be not like a Pokemon in your party the entire time. So maybe we don't say that.
If one of them's a big scary dragon, is it really 7 Pokemon? Like,
it's your living bicycle.
Yeah, exactly. It's not 7 Pokemon. It's your motorcycle.
It's your car. We don't have the car was not on the invitation list. It's fine. He just showed up.
Yeah, but then you get to play with your Pokemon that way. You can actually picnic with your friends, which nobody ever did in camp because it was very inconvenient. I do like the amount of selfies that were taken in game, by the way, throughout this whole trailer. I don't know. It just makes it feel...
It makes it a real Nintendo game.
Yeah, it just makes it feel like it's a real... Like you're actually playing with your friends. Like, this is the closest I felt to the metaverse in my entire life.
Right.
Was watching this trailer.
And other games are definitely doing well. One that I sank my teeth not too long ago was, although it's not in the same scheme, but Dreamlight Valley, Disney's Dreamlight Valley, which is basically like a Harvest Moon, but Disney. Very fun game if you like that type of game. But they have the same the poses, selfie poses, where you can like, two finger, the double fingers or the hand or anything, all of that. It's same as that game. And I'm like, you know what? It just works. Not only, I mean, I'm a geriatric millennial, but for the kiddies, I know that selfies and that's really big on the generation. So I'm just happy for it.
I mean, what's nice is it looks like you can turn those selfies into your card too. And it's not as customizable as League cards, but that's probably fine. People abused League cards. I don't think you're going to be able to abuse this as much. This
game just looks very pretty outside of the frame rate issues it was having during the...
Before we leave Picnic, though, we did learn, right, that Picnic is going to be the main way to getting eggs.
We don't know if it's the main way yet, but we do know you get eggs.
We don't know if it's the main way, but we do know you can get eggs. I really like that, honestly, for 2 reasons. I hope it's not the only way. I hope they keep breeding in the game, because a lot of people want that control, and I think egg moves are such a big thing that we've had throughout the years. But have they cut, like, main gameplay things from Pokemon before? Yeah, absolutely.
Course, yeah. The current egg system is also tedious.
Yes, I think they also have, I don't know, like, Junichi Masuda I don't think is a huge fan of breeding. He's not involved anymore, right? But he seemed to, like, cast shade at it when Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee came out, and somebody asked about it.
Something about, like, people are just wasting time running in circles.
Which is not wrong.
Which I don't entirely disagree with. I want to know what's up about the eggs, more about it. They gave us no information other than like, yeah, sometimes you can find an egg.
Like, are they eggs from your Pokemon? Or are they just random?
That's what I wanted to know, because it's like, is it going to be random?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have 3 females and 3 male Pokemon on your party, which one of these is going to be the egg that's going to pop out? Like, this seems like if they're going to be using this method as the main reason, there's a lot of randomness then added to them. So it's interesting. Let's see.
Yeah, the only thing they say in the press release about it is that it says, become great friends with lots of Pokemon. During a picnic, your Pokemon will spend their time as they please. You can speak to your Pokemon one-on-one or use toys to play with them. Spend time together and strengthen your bonds. This looks like a way better camp, by the way. I like this one way better. When you have picnics with your Pokemon, you may also find a Pokemon egg, and that's all it says. I don't know if it's from your Pokemon or from something else.
Right. I don't know if it's, one of your Pokemon, or you just randomly found a new egg with completely different Pokemon that you were carrying.
I could see them being upset that like nobody used Pokemon Camp in Sword and Shield. I think I used Pokemon Camp only as like a Pokemon Center in the middle of a route or something.
Or if you needed to up the happiness for the Pokemon to evolve.
I completed the Curry Dex. It was not worth it.
Yeah, but I could see them being like, hey, you're the daycare now, right? With your Pokemon. Like maybe by the interactions or something, you can get the egg. So maybe you can still breed Pokemon, but you're not just going to have these boxes of breed checks, right?
Maybe you need to play with the 2 Pokemon that wants to be an egg, and then you get the egg. Okay. I mean, there's possibilities, yeah.
That could happen. I mean, there could just also be a daycare as well, because they've given us ways to get multiple eggs before. Like, there's 2 daycares in Sword and Shield. That tells me they're not going to kill breeding.
Well, there used to be Pokemarts in every city.
They still exist. They're just inside the Pokemon centers.
Right. Well, breeding centers can exist just in your picnic area.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not entirely against it.
I mean, raids exist now. Raids give you relatively good Pokemon, so you're...
No, yeah.
I hope the regs are actually random and that breeding exists somewhere else. And because one of my favorite things in Pokemon that they've never recreated is the odd egg in Pokemon Crystal.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're just given a random egg and it can just turn into anything. And they're just like, I want this on my party. And it's usually like a semi-cool Pokemon, right? I would love to hatch an egg and it's just an Elekid.
Elekid or Magby or Smoochum.
Yeah, something cool. Like, give the baby Pokemon that exist a reason to exist because, hey, I just got one from an egg, right? I think that would be really, really cool. Or like a Tyrogue. Like, come on. There's so many possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
We got, more importantly, we got Litleo. Thank God we got Litleo back.
Litleo is definitely one of those Pokemon that I didn't know I liked until I didn't have him. And now I'm like, I miss that Pokemon. I want a lion for my team.
I know. There's so many Pokemon that are just like, yeah, I miss you.
Didn't think I was gonna miss them.
Speaking of that, they confirmed Girafarig was in the game, and so that he evolves. He evolves into Farigiraf, and I love it because if we're talking about Pokemon that need an evolution, they've been banging it out pretty well over the past year with between Legends Arceus and this. They've been doing a really good job. Cleavor didn't need to exist. Weird Ursaluna didn't need to exist either, but...
Well, no. Ursaluna needed to exist, but it needed to be...
Ursaluna was a shock.
Yeah, the design's kind of funky. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
Ursaluna existing is why I didn't believe the next true.
I am so happy that we got just plain vanilla evolutions back. I'm hoping this means Eviolite doesn't exist anymore. I'm okay with that too. I really love Farigiraf though. I'm like, oh man, this is going on my team only because I've always liked Girafarig. The number of times you can catch Girafarig isn't that high, actually.
What's the typing again? I forgot to double check.
It's the same.
I mean, it's still a good typing.
It's normal psychic. It's still normal psychic, which is a unique-ish typing. I don't think anybody else has that. Oh, Weirdeer does now, but
Indeedee.
Nobody used it for that typing.
No good Pokemon has that type.
You used it for the ability.
What was I looking up? Oh, I was looking up catch locations for Girafarig.
Right.
So Girafarig you get in Gen 4, it looks like. But outside of that, it's been unobtainable since Gen 4, like outside of like extra post-game areas. It's always like weakish, and I'm just like, because it's got a base stat total of 450 or something.
455, something like that.
And I'm just like, oh man, I don't want to use this, even though he's a cool Pokemon. And his move pool is actually pretty cool too. I was just like, that kind of sucks. But now that he evolves, I am here. Farigiraf is going to be on my team this go around because they combine the body and the head together, which I think is such a cool concept and is better than like having the head grow into its own thing. Is the head becomes like some kind of helmet for Girafarig. I love it. He turns into a real giraffe. And they gave him 2 new abilities. They're both okay. So the first one is Cudshoe. Cudshoe is a new ability where if the Pokemon eats a berry, at the end of its next turn, it will eat that berry again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It will get the effects from that berry again. So that could see some play depending on like how the berries work or like if there are any good berries that might work with it. Because you do have like stat boosting berries that he could just chew again and then get a second stat boost, which would be kind of cool.
The ones where they activate if you get hit by a certain kind of attack, I've seen people like.
That's a good idea too. And then the other ability they gave it was Armor Tail, which is just Queenly Majesty, in that it prevents Pokemon from being able to use priority moves against Farigiraf.
That's awesome, especially since Farigiraf doesn't have any tail.
Yeah, well, the tail turns into its armor,
The tail is his head.
Right, and it ceased to be a tail.
So it's armor. It's an armor tail. I love it. I love this so much for so many reasons. This Pokemon is amazing.
It's just so goofy.
I went to Shiny Hunt Farigiraf. I remember like when Sword and Shield stuff came out, I wasn't this excited about any Pokemon. I have 2 winners already, okay? I've got Farigiraf and Lechonk. I am super hyped for both of those Pokemon.
I saw a nice meme about Farigiraf. A photo of Farigiraf, and it says like when you and your demons are in the same page.
I was gonna joke about its hidden ability is gonna steal Calorex's as one.
Calyrex can actually ride this. This is a new form. It's a new form of Calyrex.
Should be. Psychic Ice, Psychic Ghost, and Psychic Normal.
I'd be into that. Psychic Normal, Calyrex riding Farigiraf. I'm into it. For Pokemon they announced, this was like the coolest one. I think the only thing from the trailer to really mention is like, if you watch the US or the UK version, there was a ton of lag. So noticeable that even I, who do not care about lag, saw it, noticed the lag. When they went to, what's the town's name? I already forgot it, with the grass types in it. It's the grass gym leader town, and you have to complete a challenge with some Sunflora. I noticed that the Sunflora looked like they were dancing in a Nintendo 64 game. As they were running, and I was just like, what is this? What am I watching? It turns out that the Japanese trailer doesn't have that issue. And it's actually very smooth, very clean, which means that they were probably operating on a new build of the game. And then for some reason, they let every region make its own trailer.
On old builds?
On old builds, which is very confusing to me, but whatevs.
Once you hear a little bit of the history, between the relationship between Japan, Nintendo of Japan and Nintendo of America, it does make a little sense because they're not always in the same happy-go-lucky page. They've historically fought and do not like each other.
I believe this.
I saw a documentary not long ago about the history of Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, in the 90s, Nintendo were the definitions of a villain, especially Nintendo of Japan. They were just terrible. Anyway, continue on.
I mean, we talked at the beginning of the show, right, about how they were super anti-rental.
Yeah, Nintendo of Japan, they're better now, but oh boy, they've come a long way.
After seeing the trailer, I'm just as stoked as I have been, right?
I want to play the game. Still over a month away.
It's very close.
Yeah, we're very close.
It's very close, though. Like, it's very close.
It's like a month and a week away.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be ready very soon.
I'm going to lose. Can't wait. Can't wait to lose myself in this game. Can't wait to figure out everything, every nook and cranny of it. Oh.
If it is anything like Legends Arceus, I'll be pretty excited. Just because Legends Arceus, like, that game was so fun to binge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like feeling satiated after playing, like, for a whole day and being like, wow, there's still more to go. And like just being like, I know I'm gonna rush through this and get it done very quickly.
Right.
Discovering things constantly just feels like so much fun, and I'm very excited for this.
Yep.
It's the same way I feel about Breath of the Wild coming out in May.
Yes.
Or not Tears of the Kingdom coming out in May. Yeah, that one's gonna be a good time.
In my old age now, I feel like I've been drawn more in those games that you can just lose yourself into. Like, it's like, yeah, this is a world that you can just live in for a couple of hours, and just forget about the world I actually live in. This scratches exactly that itch.
I remember in 2017 when Breath of the Wild came out, I like legitimately had these like really messed up thoughts. I had these really messed up thoughts where I would go ahead and I would look at a building and I would be like, yeah, I can climb it and then jump off and just glide. I'll be fine.
Oh, I've been there.
So I'm excited to have a similar experience with this. Yes. I think it's a good place to stop, though. I'm very excited. We're all very excited. The trailer didn't do anything to stop that. Mm-hmm. I just liked watching my Nintendo 64 footage. I mean, they did also like accidentally reveal new Pokemon, but I'm going to put accidentally in quotes because they knew what they were doing. They just didn't care enough to scrub like the Pokemon.
Yeah, that's what immediately people were like, oh, did they make a mistake? I'm like, no, dude, they left that on purpose.
They left it on purpose because they want you to have the talk you're having right now with me.
Exactly, so they want you to be hype and like, ooh, what's this? It's clearly on purpose.
To be fair, the little guy that looks like the unevolved armors, at least the red one, it wasn't in the Japanese trailer. Like, they had different mobs
that's cool
in that one. So that one might have been unintentional. They were still all fire types because, fire type based, but
I don't think there were any unintentional choices. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think there were any unintentional choices.
yeah, it spurs discussion and that's what they want.
Everything was and not necessarily unison. It could be that Nintendo of Japan made some decisions and Nintendo of America made some different decisions.
I 100% believe they left it there on purpose.
Oh yeah. Little parrot dude.
Because they want us to be talking about it because they want to build hype. They want to build hype.
When I saw the rock mushrooms, it was the one Pokemon I didn't even pay attention to it because I thought, it's just that's just a location on the minimap.
That's just a landmark. It's fine.
Yeah, like a landmark in the minimap. It's a house that you go, I don't know, to get TM training or something.
All right. Well, this is a good place to stop. I'm excited. I want you guys to let us know what you thought about the trailer in our mailbag for next week.
What's your favorite features?
Yeah. Email it there at puclpodcast@gmail.com. But we're going to kick it on over to the Pokemon of the episode, though. So get ready for that, guys, as we kick it on over there. We will catch you on the flip-flop.
Poke of the episode.
And welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 683, Aromatisse, the Fragrance Pokemon.
Its Pokemon Shield Pokedex entry states, the scents Aromatisse can produce range from sweet smells that bolster allies to foul smells that sap an opponent's will to fight, probably from Crawdont's little pincers.
I actually don't know what Aromatisse is doing in this format, because it's based at totals 462, and none of them are particularly great except maybe its HP and special defense. It's got 101 HP, which is pretty decent, 89 special defense, which is pretty good. Attack and defense are at 72, and special attack's at 99, which actually is a lot higher than I would expect.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, its speed's 29. But in a format in VGC's doubles, which we're talking about today, that's not terrible because
it's actually a benefit. It's fine.
because Trick Room works well in VGC more so than it does in singles.
Right.
So I would love to dive into this team with you guys here today, though, because Aromatisse is an interesting Pokemon, and I want to see somebody make it work. And I'm going to give it to you right now. We got Aromatisse on this team with a Babiri Berry. The Babiri Berry, for those of you who don't know what that does, reduces steel type super effective attacks by half. It does have the Aroma availability, which prevents it from being taunted, and I believe it stops a couple other things as well. I forget off the top of my head.
Encore, Taunt is the big one. Anything that forces you to not be able to use moves or into only using a certain move, it stops.
Yes. I pulled up the list. It's Taunt, Torment, Encore, Disable, Curse Body, Heal Block, and Infatuation.
Heal Block doesn't exist anymore, so it doesn't matter.
It might come back one day. You never know. Things come back. A Hidden Power came back.
Heal Block is bad, though.
Hidden Power is not great, in my opinion.
Hidden Power was better in Legends Arceus, where it was always super effective, but yes.
Yeah, I like that version. I don't know. Hidden Power, there's so many ways to fix it. And I wish they would just do that. I want it known in a game that's not just like a side game where your idea is about collecting. I want to be able to collect in my main Pokemon games.
Right.
All right. So we're going to continue though. This Aromatisse is got the relaxed nature, 0 attack, 0 speed. So you take less foul play damage and you're slow for Trick Room. Encore. So you can Encore other Pokemon, lock them into something stupid. You can protect after you, which I always think is a fun move because that lets you double a move, right?
No, that's Instruct. After you lets your Pokemon go after you is used. So
yes, okay.
If you have a fast Pokemon and you're in Trick Room,
so if you got a very slow Pokemon like Aromatisse, you can just have them go first.
Yeah, if you're in Trick Room, you can tell your fast Pokemon to go faster.
Yep,
or slower.
And as talking about Trick Room, its last move is Trick Room. So it is here to set up the Trick Room. It is your Trick Room center, I believe, for this game, for this team, because I don't think anybody else has it.
Yep.
If you were talking about Trick Room, though, I don't know how we could talk about Trick Room without talking about Calyrex Ice Rider. It's got his Choice Band. It's got As1. I think As1 is wasted on Calyrex, by the way.
Yeah.
For so many, because it's just like, it has Unnerve.
It doesn't need the Unnerve, but yeah.
Nobody, I mean, I guess it's a nice thing, because it really prevented people from running berries anymore. But it's just like, okay. And then obviously you get the, this one's the Chilling Neigh, where you boost your attack stat. after you make a knockout. And so this is 252 HP, 252 attack, 4 defense, brave nature because you're going slow, close combat, which I did not realize it got,
Right.
glacial lance, which is always a good move, Zen headbutt, and high horsepower. You're just going to hit hard. You're going to hit a lot of things super effective. If only we could have more choice items on this team, Sigma.
If only.
I don't know who wants to... Well, let's finish out the Trick Room stuff, so we'll let Sigma go.
All right. In order to get your Aromatisse to get the Trick Room off, we have Incineroar with the Chocoberry. Intimidate because we are Incineroar, and that's what we do. Almost max HP, max defense, relaxed nature, and a weird speed IV set. I don't exactly know why you're outspeeding like base 45s, but there aren't really any of those in the format, so I don't quite know what they're going for with it. Attacks are Darkest Lariat, Fake Out, Parting Shot, and Flare Blitz. What we're doing is we're trying to fake something out so our Aromatisse can take one hit and set off its Trick Room. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And then we can Parting Shot. Next up, we have Dialga with its Assault Vest. Ability Pressure because we don't really need the telepathy on this team. Nothing's going to hit it, so... Max HP, max special attack, a little bit in defense afterwards, but doesn't really matter. Modest nature, Blizzard, Earth Power, Flash Cannon, Roar of Time. You can tell we're going big because we're running Blizzard and Roar of Time. Our goal with the Dialga is to go big. It's fine.
Well, from big, we go to small, and from Trick Room, we go to this.
They're not small. What?
Regieleki is really small.
Regieleki specifically.
Okay.
And from Trick Room, from Slow Boys, we're going to Fast Boys. Now, we have Regieleki with Choice Specs and the ability Transistor. Its EV spread is 4 HP, 252 special attack, and 252 speed. With a modest nature and IVs on attack on 0. It's gonna have Volt Switch, Rising Voltage, Thunder, and Hyper Beam. Clearly he is there to do Thunder, and to Thunder really hard. Now,
maybe go big once or twice. Maybe go big.
Right. And he will not be alone because he usually will be joined by Kyogre, the only fast boy in this team. Which as the Choice Scarf is gonna have Drizzle to make sure that Thunder hits. And then we have the EV spread of 4 defense, 252 special attack, and 252 speed with that timid nature to give you the edge over other speed categories. And then the 4 attacks on this bad boy is Water Spout, Ice Beam, Scald, Thunder. It is clear that both Regieleki and Kyogre are here just to bombard the opponent if you're not going to be using your Trick Room.
This wouldn't be a Series 13 team without a Kyogre. Man, so like we put these up on Patreon, which we will this week as well. The team will be on Patreon at patreon.com/PoGo where you can get access to the shiny version of these Pokemon. But I feel like every week when I try to do the teams, it's just like, oh, that's just another Kyogre.
It's kind of like how Incineroar was in the last year.
Yes. I absolutely, yeah. It's just like, oh, it's just another Kyogre. Cool, I guess. So, yeah, it's semi-frustrating, but I can't wait for Scarlet and Violet to be out.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait for this, because this VGC scene is not doing well.
Uh-huh.
It is not doing too hot, let me tell you. All right, but like I said, if you want the team, you could join our Patreon. We will be giving it away, the shiny versions. Well, probably not of Calyrex, but of most of these Pokemon this week. So go ahead on over there. Maybe we'll switch it up, though. I might just put up legendaries or something. Or not legendaries, but like Pokemon that people want.
Right.
That probably is a good idea, because there is not variance here.
Yeah, the variance has not been high. We're going to go ahead, though, and end the show here. But before we do, of course, feel free to hang out with us at our Discord at puclpodcast.com. You can, of course, follow us on social media over at Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, where we love to talk to you guys as well. Of course, you can always catch us on YouTube at youtube.com/c/puclpodcast. You can, of course, catch us on Twitch on Tuesday, and I guess probably not Thursday this week, but over at twitch.tv/thepuclpodcast. I'm probably just going to play TCG this week because I want to go play in late night again and try to do a better job than I did last week. And then, of course, you can go ahead and support us on Patreon at patreon.com/puclpodcast. Get access to shiny Pokemon and whatnot. It's a good time. We really do appreciate you folks helping us out over there. But on that note, I have been Trainer Thatch.
I've been R.Sigma.
And I'm Mark from the Dunsparce Gang.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it is most certainly closing time.